Right, we are ready to go. Under-21s PL2 playoff between Manchester United and Everton. It is Manchester United that are going to get us started. Sekou Kone standing over the ball. We are underway in this playoff. All gets a little bit complicated. I'll try and explain the format to you as we go through this first half. Ball is down the right-hand side. And it does look like it will be a back five for Everton. There was a little bit of confusion as to whether it was going to be a 4 or a 5 for the visiting side. It does look like they've started the game at least with 5 across the back, and a potential to break here for Braden Graham. Lovely run too from Martin Sharif. Going to get his shot away too. It's a great effort. What a start for Everton. Bent in, edge of the penalty area, and a brilliant finish from Martin Sharif. Manchester United 0, Everton 1.
Well, it's a perfect start for the visitors. And I have to say, it's a really good finish, but United get caught cold. And Braden Graham breaks with the ball. And nobody really goes to close Martin Sharif down. And I think it wasn't so much the pace of the ball. I think it was the number of bodies, and he's curled it into that far corner. I mean, it's a really poor goal to concede so early in the game. But nobody closed him down.
40 seconds on the clock when that gets bent into the bottom corner by Martin Sharif, and Manchester United, well, have given themselves some work to do. At least they've got a decent period of time here to try and get themselves back into it, and at this level, absolutely anything can happen. But that has caught them cold, Ben.
Yeah, it certainly did. I mean, they were completely outnumbered when they broke Everton. And it was a good spot from Braden Graham with Sharif coming up on his outside, but then he had far too much time to turn and pick his spot, and nobody in a red shirt closed him down, and he bent it into the far corner.
Louis Jackson impeded. Free kick is Manchester United. We're back underway again. Whipped out to that far side, and Sam Murray. Back to Godwill Kokonki. Infield to Kone. It's an Everton side that have struggled in PL2 this season. Used to seeing them a little higher up the table than we did over this campaign. They ended up finishing 12th. Manchester United's good end to the season pushed them up to 5th.
Well, you're not used to seeing Everton play with a back 3 or a back 5 in this case. They have sort of tried it once or twice in the season, but normally they very often play a back 4 and sort of tinker with the system a little bit further up, whether it's a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1, even a 4-4-2. They've obviously gone to solidify and make things a little bit tougher for the opposition to get through them, and when you get up to a start like that, then it's all the more to build on.
That's Martin Sharif's 6th goal of the season. Hardly been prolific, but was absolutely on the money with that effort from the edge of the penalty area. Heavily watered pitch at Lee. See the spray coming off as the ball is moved from right to left. Ball into the channel. I think Ethan Wheatley has remained onside here. He's going to get his shot away too. Ethan Wheatley firing high and wide.
Yeah, I think he broke the offside trap. I think James Scanlon, when the ball was played, would have been off.
Well, Ethan Wheatley, despite spending a good part of the season away on loan at Walsall, is still in sort of the top 3 or 4 scorers for Manchester United. Has 6 to his name this season for the under-21s. In fact, only Sam Mather has more than Ethan Wheatley this season. Morehouse to Scanlon. Murray comes back to Kokonki. Another one that's been involved semi-regularly with Manchester United's first team. Kone has been dispossessed. Fletcher's going to come back and cover off Isaac Heath. Good interception. Morehouse gets the ball upfield to Wheatley. Ethan Wheatley, Stockport-born, with Manchester United's academy a little while now. Of course, was the 250th academy graduate to play for Manchester United's first team. Nobody's ever going to be able to take that away from him. What an achievement, not only for him, but for this Manchester United academy. Everton staying in good shape, making life a little tricky for Manchester United in the opening stages, Ben.
Yeah, they're not really advancing too far either. They're making sure that they've got United exactly where they want them at the moment.
Loose in midfield, picked up by Heath. Back to Patterson. In turn, finds Onyango. Back to Welsh. And now Ala Thomas. United struggling to keep hold of the ball at the moment, and Everton have got some numbers again here. Heath comes across to Patterson. Samuel Smith looking for Sharif, uses his strength against Kukonki. Kukonki does well to show him out of the penalty area. Decent ball in, is turned away.
There's not many players that tower over Goodwill Kukonki either, but Martin Sharif, he's definitely a physical specimen.
He's going to be the irresistible force meets the immovable object for the next 83 and a bit minutes. Plus stoppages. All into the channel for Samuel Smith to chase. Waganai loses his footing, ball runs out of play. Manchester United not quite recovered from that early shock yet.
No, of all the years I've been watching Manchester United, I've seen them score at this level so early in a game. Can't remember one time when I've seen them concede so quickly in either half.
Wheatley to Murray, back to Wheatley. Well dealt with by Reece Welsh. Well, that's a wild challenge. Referee is going to allow it to go. Well, I tell you what, had there been any connection there at all, we were in injury territory then. Whipped in, Samuel Smith, collected by Eli Harrison.
That was a bit of a wild lunge, wasn't it?
We both winced. Organite finds the way through to Wheatley.
Yeah, it's a good pass, that.
It's well dealt with by Tyler Fletcher too to find Morehouse. Intercepted though. Herring down the right hand side goes Roman Dixon. Alan Thomas. It's a lot of work to do on your own if you're Ethan Wheatley with those three centre backs. Hard to know who you're spending your time targeting. Kone loses out to his opposite number, Patterson. Referee says a little over-eager to win the ball back from the Marley man.
Yeah, he's obviously starting as sort of that protectorate just in front of the back four, and that's a couple of times now that he's lost possession in his own half. Somebody that you want to keep holding and keep the ball progressing forward. He's been caught a couple of times, and this time he's given a free kick away.
Unusual for Sekou Kone as well. It was had really good few weeks for the under-21s. Here is the delivery. Braden Graham comes back to Gomez, headed away by Organite.
It was a poor ball, that, actually. He had plenty of time.
Heath is challenged by Wheatley. Comes back to Thomas. ball over the top for Braden Graham to chase, and Habib Oganai's got some work to do here. Goes down under the challenge. The referee says it is a foul on the Manchester United fullback. Seen them given both ways, Ben.
I was going to say, I don't think there's, maybe might have been that first left arm on the shirt, but I didn't think there was a lot in that. I'm not so sure Eli Harrison did as much as he should either. Communication between him and Habib Oganai, just to poke the ball back to him.
Scanlon. It's a good ball into the feet of Murray. He's going to slide this through to Ethan Wheatley, who takes a touch brilliantly. It's the equaliser. Ethan Wheatley with the brilliant run off the back, and the pass to find him from Sam Murray. Weighted perfectly. Manchester United are level, 1-1.
It's a superb response out of nowhere. And this is a really, really good ball. Look at that, he finds the gap between the two centre-backs. And it's a brilliant touch to take it past Fraser Barnsley in the Everton goal. And then he doesn't panic. It's not great defending. When you've got a back three, you shouldn't be cut open as easily as that. But fair play to Ethan Wheatley. He saw the gap. Murray found him. Great first touch. And a very calm finish to equal it up. 7th
of the season for Ethan Wheatley. I think I've just read I'm back, which works for me. Great stuff from Ethan Wheatley. Is that the danger of playing three at the back? Is that occasionally, if you don't take responsibility for your runner, you can end up in a situation where you can get a bit confused like that?
Yeah, and you can't really allow for the gaps to be that big. It's okay when you're trying to go forward and you want to spread yourselves out and you're trying to start the play. But when you're defending, you need to be a lot more compact, and the gaps between the two centre-backs there of the three were way too big, and Ethan Wheatley exploited it.
I'm sure he'll be wanting to do more of the same as we go through the game. So an opening minute sucker punch for Everton, giving them the lead, equalised a little over 10 minutes later by Ethan Wheatley.
Oh, we see goals at this level. It's rarely a 0-0.
It's the endless energy that you see from this age group as well in the academy. Just run for days. So this is Odin Samuel-Smith. Turn from Sharif is intercepted, and James Scanlon fighting for it. Welsh goes out to Onyango. Looking for an early ball into the channel. Easy enough for Godwill Kokonki to deal with.
Yeah, that's not as easy for Everton to play the balls into channels with United playing a back four and the full-backs being took round. It's more of a case of trying to find the feet of the goal scorer Martin Sharif. Braden Graham, as lively as he's been in these opening sort of coming up quarter of an hour, he's more of an attacking midfielder than an out-and-out forward.
Eli Harrison, who has been the goalkeeper now to play the most PL2 games this season out of the group. Over the top needs dealing with, just about done so by Roman Dixon, but Wheatley didn't stop chasing. Puts the goalkeeper Barnsley under a little bit of pressure. Oganai is in a foot race with Braden Graham again. Offside flag goes up against the Everton man. Had a hint of offside about it.
Yeah, it did.
Louis Jackson then. Harrison to Kokonki. Back it comes to Eli Harrison. one of the things that I will say about this Manchester United academy, and this under-21 side in particular, is when you look at Harry Amass and Tyler Fredrickson, who both came out of the under-21s to play for Manchester United in the last game against Wolves, although a 1-0 defeat, I thought the pair of them deserved more than they got out of the game. They were two of Manchester United's best players on the day, and their confidence in the ability that they have with the ball at their feet is a massive part of that. They're not put under pressure, they don't feel pressured when they receive the ball in tight areas, and all of that comes from the foundations laid at academy level.
Yeah, very, very true, and they're important foundations as well, because it's one thing that the Premier League dictates, is that you have to be able to play under pressure. And I agree with you, Harry Amass and Tyler Fredrickson did not deserve to be on the losing side last Sunday. Okay, it wasn't a great team performance and the team was very much changed, but those two without question came out with a lot of credit.
Not entirely sure that Manchester United deserved to be on the losing side. For me, the better side for the majority of it just didn't take the chances, didn't score the goals. Everton had one shot on target, that came from the free kick. Here come Manchester United through the middle again. Bendito Mantato in a dangerous position. He's going to win his side a corner, and it's a good run from the right winger to come central to try and latch onto the end of it.
Maybe I was judging it from coming from the Thursday night into the Sunday, that's probably why.
Yeah, you and I were, we skipped into the ground on Sunday, didn't we? Less so on the way out. James Scanlon will take the left wing corner. Deep one. Wheatley gets his head on it. It was dropping. Goalkeeper was concerned just for a split second and then realised it was landing on the roof of the net.
Yeah, he was always backpedaling, wasn't he? Couldn't really get the elevation or the power.
Very tall player as well, Ethan Wheatley. Powerful. Nice tool for Travis Binion to have back in his arsenal. Waganai decided to take on Heath.
He caught him. I'm surprised the referees let that go.
Has he seen it as a bit of a racing incident, a bit of a 50-50, and has allowed play to continue? Ball's going to loop up back to the goalkeeper, and the referee is now going to stop play. Going to get a bit of treatment here, I think. Take another look, Ben.
Yeah. I think you just see is it Gomez, is it, that comes across, and he just overran the ball, Habiba Gunai. And I think 9 times out of 10, those are given by referees. I certainly thought he was caught, but the referee had other ideas.
If I was to play devil's advocate, I mean, the ball has already gone, hasn't it? And there is a collision between two players that are challenging for the ball. I'm not sure it's a foul either way. I think they've run into each other. But that is me playing devil's advocate.
It's not like you, Liam.
No, and looking at your face, it tells me exactly what you think about what I've just said. If you could see Ben's face, you
are
too would
perfectly
understand.
entitled to your opinion, and
Even though it's
I'm
wrong.
just here to tell you that you're wrong.
Why change the habit of a lifetime, eh? Every day is a school day. Ben's definitely the teacher. And the naughty school child at the same time. Yeah. I both learn from him and have to keep him under control on a daily basis. Looks like Francis Gomez is going to be okay. Jogging it off to the sidelines. Doesn't look to be moving too badly, so get him back on the pitch and we can get the game restarted. We'll have to stay off for 30 seconds or so here because of the regulations. Fraser Barnsley. Strong name, isn't it? Fraser Barnsley.
Yeah.
From Northern Ireland. Offside flag is up against Everton. I mean, to use a cliche, shouldn't be getting caught offside there.
No.
Is that a cliche? I'm not sure it is.
Yeah, I think it's a football cliche. I think it's said a lot, isn't it? You shouldn't be offside there. Cliche or not, it rings true in a lot of cases.
It's a good ball for James Scanlon to chase onto. A story about football cliches in just a moment. We'll wait until there is a break in play.
My breath is duly baited.
Don't start. It's a good one. Sort of. Fletcher.
Is it better than your Lee ones?
Yes, I've been told by the producer I'm not allowed any more Lee stats. I can already tell he's desperate to buzz in my ear. Ethan Wheatley. he's now rescinded that and said I can come out with as many Lee facts as I like.
Wow.
As the ball is looped up into the goalkeeper's arms. The football cliche story, whilst Everton are building up, was that I listened to a podcast by a chap called Adam Hurrey called Football Cliches, and it's about the language of football. And I've listened to this podcast for maybe 6 or 7 years, right? I appeared on the podcast for the first time about 2 weeks ago. I used the phrase "squirreled the ball clear," and they debated it for a full 3 or 4 minutes as to whether you could actually squirrel a ball clear or whether you could only squirrel it behind.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I think the consensus was it was fine, you could squirrel a ball clear.
You're being talked about, Liam, that's the main thing.
Yeah, I've been told to just point out that other podcasts are available if you want to listen to them, like the official Manchester United one, which has got loads of archive interviews on, which is absolutely belting. You've been on that?
I don't know.
Benito Mantato, infield to Fletcher. Fletcher back to Argonite. Bit of space out on that far side for Murray. He's got Scanlon ahead of him, comes back instead to Kukonki. Kone. Jackson. It's a good ball into the channel for Fletcher. Gets a touch on it too. The offside flag has gone up against the Manchester United midfielder.
Yeah, it just went a little bit too soon. I think it's also important that you do have runners from deep when you're playing against this system. You were talking about making sure that you don't switch off from your runners, but if you've got more that are prepared to go, as Tyler Fletcher did there, then you have more of a chance of disorientating the centre-backs.
So, here's a balls out of play. Here's an interesting stat for you. This one is interesting. 2 twins play for Manchester United's under-18s, under-21s. They are Tyler and Jack Fletcher. Who do they represent internationally, Ben?
Well, I'm assuming Scotland. No.
Jack Fletcher represents England. Tyler Fletcher represents Scotland.
Right.
Which blew my mind a little bit when I found that out. What was out of play? Far side. Ethan Wheatley's not going to get the throw in there. That brotherly competition, do you reckon?
Wow.
Or is it keeping both your parents sweet? There was an argument, wasn't there, between Alejandro Garnacho's parents?
As to whether it was
Spain or Argentina.
Yeah.
His mum won. It's well won back by Kone. Braden Graham trailing in his wake, finds Oganai. And now Mantato. Lovely bit of skill from Bendito Mantato, he found himself a bit of space, didn't he? And then just got reeled in.
Yeah. I think when he moved that ball towards the touchline, he found the sufficient enough space to be able to cross it in with his right foot, and he wanted an extra touch.
Habib Oganite penalised for the challenge on Isaac Heath.
I think he did get the ball, but maybe he went through the man first. I think I can understand why that was given.
Yeah. Murray with the ball at his feet. Took United 10 minutes or so, didn't it, to get moving in the game, but all of a sudden it feels like they've wrestled some control. That's the curse of the commentator. Fletcher does well to get back at his man and come away with the ball.
Patterson was more bothered about the man than he was with the ball. He'd already won it.
Cross is thumped towards the back post by Oganite, collected by Scanlon. Some season James Scanlon has had, by the way. Brilliant again from Morehouse. Morehouse is going to get his shot away, it's blocked behind. Well, he is an absolute pleasure to watch running with the ball, isn't he, Jack Morehouse?
One of his greatest attributes, and the way he just spins and turns and gets away from Onyango, who'd been dragged. And he's the middle of the centre-back trio, and he just turned him and accelerated away. Wonderful at running with the ball, Jack Morehouse.
Right wing corner for Scanlon. Towards the back post is cleared out of the area. Sam Murray. It's well won back by United. Morehouse again on his left foot this time. Challenge in the penalty area. He stays on his feet. Crosses back to the goalkeeper. Wow, do wonder whether that challenge on the edge of the box could have been more than just a challenge, Ben.
Yeah, very honest. He picks the ball up here, skips away from Gomez, and then as Munro comes in, it's a really clumsy challenge, and it would have been a penalty had it not been for Morehouse's honesty and his willingness to want to continue his run, probably.
For me, that shouldn't. You shouldn't have to go down in
those
situations.
I agree.
Because what you're actually encouraging there is the player to go down, which is not what you want to do.
No, I agree. But I think if he does go down there, the referee gives it, but that's very true. Doesn't have to be a prerequisite that a foul is only given when you go to the floor. He should be rewarded for his honesty on staying on his feet, not penalised for it.
Throw in for Manchester United. I've just had a message from somebody listening who suggested to me that the Keane brothers had different international allegiances as well. So that's Ben's looking at why I'm looking at Michael Keane. And that's why, because Will apparently played for Ireland and Michael switched to England.
Right.
I was just checking that Coggy was right before I said it out loud. And then I didn't. So if he's wrong, pelters go to him, not to me. Oh, Eli Harrison very late. Martin Sharif sliding in. Well, he was calm, wasn't he, Eli Harrison?
Certainly was.
Calmer than me, that's absolutely certain. And then Odin Samuel Smith is pressured to put the ball out of play by Bendito Mantato. hint of a foul throw in there.
Definitely.
And
I'm glad you said
no,
that.
No. I only say it because there was at least 2 defenders that actually claimed for it. The referee and the assistant have both missed it on that occasion. Scanlon. Jackson finds Fletcher. Everton are getting back into good shape and again making life really hard for United. Keep moving that ball around and be patient.
It's a great ball out. Eli Harrison, really well found.
United on the attack again with Scanlon. Well dealt with by Onyango. Plays Gomez into a bit of a tricky spot, but he's done well too to get the ball away. Heath on the run. Graham ahead of him. Field it comes to find Samuel Smith. Tries to slide that through. Louis Jackson knocks the ball clear. Onyango. Reece Welsh. And now Thomas. Patterson round the corner to Heath. Heath to Braden Graham. Graham has got width. Low cross, turned away well by Louis Jackson, sliding in, makes a good connection, knocks it behind for a corner.
Yeah, good move from Everton. A little bit of an overload on that far side as Dixon comes. Tries to fire that ball across to find Sharif in the box, but Louis Jackson had read the danger. Gets a clean contact on it most of the point.
Deep one. At the back post, it's been turned home. Well, nobody picked up the man at the back post. Eventually turned home for Martin Sharif's second of the game. Corner was a good one. The header back across, just needed a touch on it. That's what it got, 2-1.
Yeah, it was a dangerous corner.
His second goal of the game
And
for Everton,
he's not even in the picture there. As the ball comes in, it's obviously something that they've worked on in the training ground. As that ball is whipped in comes Braden Graham. And I think it's just a reaction from Sharif. He's only a couple of yards off the goal line. And again, Travis Binion will be disappointed.
I would imagine that United will be disappointed, the players on the pitch, that they haven't picked up the run of Braden Graham, or nobody's spotted him at the back post. Behind they go again in this playoff game in PL2. So in case you're wondering, this is the top 16 playing off in the 24-25 playoffs. The second time that this has happened. So first place 16th, second place 15th, third place 14th, etc. in this opening round. Then we go to the quarterfinals, the semi-finals and the final. Final due to be played somewhere around the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th of May, somewhere around there that week. Winner of this tie, and it will go to extra time and penalties if required, will face the winner of West Ham United against Sunderland. West Ham finished just above Manchester United. Sunderland finished in 13th. So depending on who wins the other one, would depend who was at home. Espinion at full stretch couldn't quite reel that one in. And on the far side. Sharif's been running hard, hasn't he?
Oh,
that's a late challenge as well. Referee allowing play to continue. No extended arms to show that he was playing on either. I think he has caught him late, Ben, there. I think you're right. That's been given away by Everton. United have got numbers forward. Oganite goes outside to Mantato. Mantato's going to give it back to Oganite. Chops back brilliantly. Gets a great cross into towards the head of James Scanlon, who just couldn't generate the power that he needed to. Wide of the mark.
Yeah, he does well. Really well, actually. Because I thought his choice of pass in the first place, Habiba Gonai, it should have gone inside where there were two Manchester United players. But he's turned inside. Aled Thomas there. And put a decent ball in for James Scanlon to go and attack.
Scanlon, who has 14 goals in 14 under-18s Premier League games, 3 goals in 5 FA Youth Cup games. He's played 3 Youth League games and got 2 goals there, and then on top of that has 2 goals in his 8 appearances for Manchester United's under-21s.
Had a cracking season.
Yeah, prolific. A couple of full Gibraltar caps as well this season for him as well. Oganai unable to keep that one in. Substitutes coming out for a bit of a run here. Victor Musa and Reece Munro, the last off the bench. Gomez can't reel that one in. Sam Murray goes back to Harrison. Takes absolutely no chances with that clearance. He's looking for Ethan Wheatley. Can't quite find him.
Sometimes that happens when you're being rushed. It does frustrate me when I'm watching when keepers kick the ball out of play, but when you're under pressure, that's better than the alternative.
Player down on the far side for Manchester United. I think that's Tyler Fletcher. I can't see. No, it's Jack Morehouse. A little bit of treatment for him while the game continues. Aled Thomas comes infield to Reece Welsh. Ball down the right wing is intercepted by Sam Murray and out for a throw-in. United are still playing with 10 here. Hoisted clear. Brought down by Onyango. Samuel Smith. Tyler Onyango. Oh, there's a test for whether or not you're actually up to speed for Jack Morehouse. Gets there too, slides it in, it's brilliant to Ethan Wheatley again, gets his shot away! It's just wide.
I thought he was offside, I have to say. But Jack Morehouse, it's a great run. You're Tyler Fletcher at the bottom of your screen that had made that run as well. Angle was very tight for Ethan Wheatley.
I said it was wide, it was palmed wide by the goalkeeper.
Yeah, he shouldn't be beaten from there.
Although we have seen it this season once or twice. Keepers being beat at the near post. Scanlon standing over this. We're going to have another break in play here. It looks like another Manchester United player that requires some treatment. Oh, maybe not. Is it the assistant?
Yeah, could well be.
Oh, I think it might be the assistant. Well, I saw the Manchester United medical staff run on and just assumed that it was A Manchester United player was down, but it looks like the assistant has got a groin strain, Ben. Moderate yourself, Benjamin.
No, fair enough. If he's got a strain, then he has to go off. He's not going to be able to carry on, is he?
No, fourth official.
What would be the point in him carrying on?
Fourth official will now need to be summoned. They're going to have to find somebody else to play the fourth official role.
Do they ask in the crowd?
Oh, please ask in the crowd. Yeah, they will. Let's take a look at the 3 goals that we've already seen whilst this is all being sorted out. I love these nuances of football. This was the opener. A lovely finish this from Martin Sharif from the edge of the penalty area. Bent his shot in. It's the sea of bodies.
He never got closed down, though, I have to say.
They're asking the crowd, Ben. Ethan Wheatley with Manchester United's equaliser. If there is any qualified official in the crowd, make yourself known. It's like being a doctor on an aeroplane.
Yeah.
And here was the goal to make it 2-1. Braden Graham sneaking in at the back post, and eventually I think it just hits Martin Sharif.
Yeah, it does.
And ends up in the back of the net. So, assistant down with what looks like a groin strain. We'll see whether we can get any more information. Post-match, no, we won't. But he will need to be replaced by the fourth official. And then the fourth official will come out to run the line on this side, and then they've asked for any qualified person to be able to do the fourth official's job next to the dugouts. So, whilst this is being sorted, goodness me, who'd have thought it? Harry Robinson, who's down there reporting for us, says he regrets not doing his match officials course now. So, whilst we are getting fourth official mic'd up and sorted, I mean, it's unbelievable, isn't it? These are the small nuances in football that you don't get necessarily in the Premier League, do you? And then all of a sudden you come and watch an under-21s game or a non-league game, and you've got an official going down with a groin strain, Ben. You've got to replace him with the fourth. You're asking in the crowd for somebody to do the fourth official's job. You love it, really, don't you?
It is unprecedented. I've never seen. I know it has happened, but I've never seen it before.
Oh, is this your man? Oh, I love it. Shorts and a hoodie, and he's now the fourth official. He's popped down to watch Manchester United, and he's now part of the officiating team. Oh, look, it's absolutely brilliant. Somebody going to find him some kind of official garb? Is he going to have to get mic'd up?
Is he going to use the board and all?
Yeah, he's going to have to get mic'd up. He's going to have to use the board. He's going to have to do all of that, isn't he? He's going to have to be in contact with the officiating team. He's going to have to take the paperwork in when the substitutions are made.
I bet he's been in the pub on the car park. I bet he's had 6 pints.
I'm sure that's not the case. I'm sure I haven't dragged him out of the Whistling Wren beer garden to come and be the fourth official. That definitely hasn't happened. If you're just joining us and wondering what on earth is going on, we have a break in play because the assistant that was running the line on this near side has gone down with what looks to be a bit of a groin strain, which means he's got to be replaced by the fourth official, and now we've had to grab somebody out of the crowd to be the fourth official. The Everton... Do you reckon that the Everton bench are just checking that he's not actually a United fan?
Well, yeah. I mean, they are. But why else would he be there?
I don't know. What if he's... Is he wearing a United shirt underneath that hoodie? Is that the tail of a Manchester United shirt? He's gonna have to take that off. He can't be the fourth official whilst wearing a Manchester United shirt, can he?
I genuinely don't see the problem. I mean, at the end of the day, he's there Oh no, they've got rid of him.
Oh, he's been sacked less than 10 minutes into his new job, and the
I mean, for a fourth official's job, he's just got to. He can't have any influence over the game, can he? Unless one of the other ones goes down, and then he's got to come on and run the line, I suppose. But
the liner that's gone off injured is now coming back as the fourth official. That's what's happening.
Well, that makes more sense. You don't need to be running about to hold a board up, do you?
I'm absolutely gutted. Whoever he is, I'm really sorry that you didn't get the opportunity, pal. Honestly, your big moment presented to you. You were given the briefing talk. You were brought out of the crowd, and then for some reason, you've been binned off. So this is the fourth that's coming on to be the assistant on this near side.
Is he a part-time jockey?
Says you.
I mean, joking aside, that was the biggest waste of, 7 or 8 minutes?
Yeah.
It's crazy, that.
Have we had the board yet? Here comes the corner. Hook towards goal. Cleared away. Players have been stood around with not an awful lot to do, and now it's a case of switching back on again as quickly as you possibly can. Kone, over-eager. Free kick is given. Any idea how many minutes we've added on? There we go. 8 minutes.
There you go.
8 minutes.
A minimum of 8 minutes added on at the end of the first half.
Well, things that you don't always see.
Yeah, you've got a feel for the ball lad, haven't you? He had a really good chance.
Oh, anyway, I feel like he's been denied a proper tale to be able to tell when he gets back in the Whistling Wren beer garden in about an hour and a half's time.
I think Travis Binney will have a few words to say to these lads at half-time. I don't think that it's anywhere near the standard that he would be requiring, and anywhere near the standard that, for a majority of the season they have set for themselves. I think they've fallen way below it. Just as you thought that United were going to take control once they equalised and got their sort of heads in the game, they allowed Everton back into it, and I don't think it's been a particularly good performance from them.
Oh, that is a proper challenge in the centre of midfield.
Oh, somebody's gone down there.
Yeah, I think that was Martin Sharif that's gone down, actually. We're going to have to wait and see what's gone on here. It wasn't Sharif that went into the challenge. It was the 2 6s in Sekou Kone and Jack Patterson. But he is certainly in a bit of pain here. I wonder what's happened.
Dead leg?
Yeah, maybe. Or is he maybe just open that hip out ever so slightly? Let's take a look here. Challenge comes in. Oh. Just struggling. You saw him sort of go down at the back of the shot after the challenge had happened.
Yeah.
Well, more time added on at the end of the first half. We've already had 8 minutes added. This will be another 2 or 3. I think he's going to be okay to continue. Thumbs up being given. Going to hobble his way over to the sideline.
And all of a sudden you're into like a quarter of the half being added on at the end of it.
Which you've kind of got to, haven't you? Because we've had that break in play.
I know.
You've got to add those minutes back on. It's just not made for the greatest spectacle.
Exactly.
The oddities of football. United go to press. Barnsley is almost dispossessed by Wheatley. He wanted Fletcher to be a little higher than he was, and Everton are going to be able to get the ball back to halfway.
He took a risk there, the goalkeeper. A long way out of his goal as well. Not had any time to have gotten back to make any sort of a save had he had lost control or lost the ball.
Morehouse to Kukonki. Scanlon hits it out to the left-hand side, and that is a opportunity for Morehouse to close it down. He was trying to play Reece Welsh and the ball at the same time. Timings were just slightly off. Fletcher. So we've played 6 minutes of the original 8 added on. I think there'll be a couple more as well. Wouldn't surprise me if we were playing up to sort of 55 minutes of this first half.
I think you're probably right.
All worked across to Louis Jackson. Fletcher, back to Jackson. Kukonki receives the ball back from Jackson. He'll try and find Scanlon. James Scanlon brings that down well. It's clearly a foul, and the referee gives it the opposite way.
He's missed a few. That was a blatant trip. And he was looking straight at it. Yeah, well, I thought that was a trip.
Referee thinks otherwise. United trying to get things moving. Organite. Field to the Scotland Youth International Louis Jackson. Murray finds Scanlon. The referee is going to bring the half to a close. We're not going to add any more minutes for that injury to Martin Sharif, who opened the scoring inside 40 seconds for Everton, bending one home from the edge of the penalty area. It was then Ethan Wheatley who managed to bag the equaliser. Lovely ball played into his path. Good touch in the penalty area before finishing past Fraser Barnsley to make it 1 apiece. Then a corner swung into the back post, was nodded back across goal by Braden Graham. It hit Martin Sharif and ended up in the back of the Manchester United net, and a disappointing first 45 minutes comes to a close for Travis Binion's side. They'll feel like they should have done better, but at the break they trail Everton by 2-1. Referee getting us ready to go here. Martin Sharif has actually reappeared for the start of the second half. We were wondering whether that might be the case after he went down in stoppage time at the end of the first, but looks like he's going to be able to continue. We are underway, and it is Isaac Heath that gets us started, with Manchester United trailing by 2-1 in the second half. Long ball downfield is a little on the aimless side as the floodlights start to take effect at the LSV. Sam Murray with the throw-in for United. No changes for either side at the start of the second half, so United have got Harrison in goal, back four from right to left of Organite, Jackson, Kukonki and Sam Murray. There has been an Everton change at half-time. I apologise, Luca Davis is on. Meanwhile, Manchester United's midfield: Kone, Morehouse and Fletcher. Scanlon left, Mantato right, and Ethan Wheatley will lead the line. Manchester United on the front foot here. That is a big slide challenge that goes in. Everton back in possession. One back though by Morehouse. Referee says unfairly free kick is given Everton's way. So that changes. Tyler Onyango, who makes way for Everton, and Luca Davis, who is on to replace him. That means maybe just a little bit of a switch around for Everton in this second half. They've got Barnsley in goal, Dixon, Welsh, Davis, Thomas and Samuel Smith, Patterson, Gomez and Heath, and then those front two of Braden Graham and Martin Sheriff. Thumped downfield by Barnsley. Flicked into the channel. Sheriff against Kokonki. Battle that is ultimately won by Godwill Kokonki. Again, just a little guileless ball forward. No real craft to it. Ends up sailing out of play. Morehouse. Tackle dispossesses him, and Braden Graham's into the penalty area here. Needs to be a decent challenge. It is a good tackle too from Louis Jackson, and he wins the goal kick as well.
Just got caught, didn't he? Morehouse. I do enjoy him running with the ball. Tyler Fletcher was quite lucky there, wasn't he? He nearly caught Braden Graham.
Helped out by his centre half. Kokonki with a screwed clearance. Comes across the deck and is picked up by Everton, who will happily take the field position. Patterson. Given away again. Sloppy in the opening stages of this second period. Scanlon having to make a run off the pitch here. Does really well to keep his feet actually once he gets down onto that AstroTurf. It's a little bit slippy. Loads of space out on the Manchester United right hand side at the minute.
Yeah, he didn't see it, did he? Martin Sheriff.
Into the channel again. Brought down by Braden Graham brilliantly. Has a go from distance, it's straight down the throat of Eli Harrison.
Yeah. The shot didn't match the touch. Braden Graham.
This is a single elimination playoff for Manchester United. Lose this one and they are out of these PL2 playoffs, so there's plenty to play for here. United did make the top 12 of the competition as well, which means they have secured passage into the Premier League International Cup for next season, as well as the PL2 games. Some of these players will be watching on nervously on Thursday night too, because real chance, if Manchester United were to make the Champions League by winning the Europa League, that some of these players will be able to play down in the under-19s UEFA Youth League. Not all of them, but certainly Fletcher, Scanlon. There's a few in this team that would be able to do so. Godwill Kokonki, for example. Benito Mantata would be the other one, I think, that could play in the under-19s. Fletcher.
Great experience, that competition.
Well, that's the bonus of the Premier League International Cup as well, as it does give you the opportunity to play against some sides that you wouldn't normally. Scanlon, a decent run, is then blocked off. Wheatley tries to do the same again. Plenty of running in Ethan Wheatley. He's done brilliantly. Can he finish it? Of course he can. Ethan Wheatley levels things up again. And it's just relentless work from Manchester United centre forward. Wins it back, finishes it brilliantly, 2-2.
It's a super finish. I mean, you obviously have to question what the defender's doing. I think, is this Luca
Davis.
Luca Davis has just come on. I'm not sure what he's trying. Just roll it back to your goalkeeper. But there was a little bit of anger in that finish from Ethan Wheatley. As you say, really good work from him. But it's poor defending. Well, it's not even defending, is it? It's just a poor choice from Luca Davis.
An individual error that leads to a goal. Manchester United have come back from a goal down twice now in this game. Haven't led so far. Maybe this is the opportunity as Kone strides forward, gets his shot away. A little bit too much on that one. Flies over the top.
Yeah, he chased down his own interception.
Well, he's got a finish from that range in his locker. We've seen it a couple of times from him this season. On that occasion, was off target. Again, it's the United press causing Everton problems. It's given away in midfield. Morehouse. Argonai.
Sometimes I feel as though this emphasis now that clubs have of, you know, trying to play the way out rather than safety first, it doesn't always work. Yes, it looks good when you can beat the press and you can get yourselves onto attacks, but you have to be comfortable on the ball in the right areas if you're going to try what Luca Davis did there. What a pass.
Yes, brilliant to Wheatley again. Offside flag goes up against him. Just went a little bit too soon, but great vision to spot him in the first place. There are a couple of other fixtures going on in Premier League 2 playoffs tonight. So Arsenal 1, Newcastle 1 is a latest result after an hour being played in that game. And Manchester City also in action. They've been playing an hour too. They lead Liverpool by 1-0. We are going from 16 to 8 in this round of fixtures. Sam Murray plays a bouncing ball back to the goalkeeper. I'm not sure Eli Harrison will thank him for that coming in at knee height. Oh, the run was there from James Scanlon, wasn't it? And unfortunately not picked up by Tyler Fletcher. Kone. Argonai comes back to Louis Jackson. Just a little bit more zip in this Manchester United side since the opening 5 minutes of this half. That is definitely a foul. The referee is going to give this one. It's flagged by the assistant before the referee spots it. Odin Samuel Smith, just a little exuberant in the challenge.
I think that's what he would have demanded, Travis Binion. Yeah, that's not the best of challenges, that was it?
No, certainly a foul. Morehouse. Wheatley goes long, Morehouse comes short. Ethan Wheatley is not giving up on anything. It's been given away again by Everton. Through again, it's Wheatley again. Falls to Morehouse. Morehouse's touch lets him down, and it's cleared away. Another gilt-edged opportunity. Argonai tries to drive his way in between a couple of Everton players, and is pushing at a closed door. One back again though. Again, the touch just not quite what it needed to be, but United are really putting Everton under the pump here.
Yeah, Everton are certainly playing some risky stuff. I'm not quite sure why Jack Morehouse felt the need to take a touch. It was there for him to hit it first time as it came across him. I think the spin on the ball caught him out as well, the way it came off his foot. But it was there for him just to hit first time. And he's a really good striker of the ball too.
Wheatley lurking to try and get on the end of that, can't do so. Fletcher plays that against the referee. And now it's got to be a bounce ball restart because the laws of the game say so.
I mean, some of the laws I understand, but I genuinely don't understand that. If he's still got the ball, just carry on. I mean, it's like having your window blind when you're landing on a plane. What is the point?
I'm sure there's
Why
a
does
reason.
that need to be done?
Things that grind Ben's gears. There's a whole podcast episode in this alone.
Yeah.
There must be a reason for the window blinds. I'm sure somebody can tell us what that is. Sam Murray down the left-hand side, gets the cross away, pops back out to Kone, gives it back to Wheatley, who's managed to turn here as it's stolen away. Everton, I don't know whether they're just trying to be a little bit braver in terms of playing out, but how it is presenting itself is more dangerous, that's for absolutely certain. Heath. Isaac Heath tries to find himself a bit of space against Murray. One back by a combination of Fletcher and Morehouse, and now forward to Wheatley. And Wheatley has got a plethora of players to pick from on the edge of the penalty area. Gives this to Scanlon. Scanlon finds some space, drills his shot in low, but it's straight at the goalkeeper, Barnsley.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot more zip and a lot more menace about Manchester United's play in this opening 12 or 13 minutes of this second half.
I wonder whether the return ball to Ethan Wheatley was on there. Although when it opens up for you like that, if you're James Scanlon and you've scored the goals that you've scored this season, you can totally understand why he takes that on.
Yeah, and we can forgive him for it.
Confidence high for James Scanlon, as I mentioned, just in the under-18s has scored 14 in 14. Loose in midfield, but certainly a little bit more energy about this Manchester United side as the sunlight fades at the Lee Sports Village. Floodlights casting shadows, becoming more visible. Flicked on by Wheatley. And Tato was lurking. It's one back by Fletcher, is it? No, it's a good bit of work in the end from Everton. Did the right thing, Ethan Wheatley, didn't he, by flicking it on into the channel. Roman Dixon blocked by Murray. Out it goes for a corner.
Yeah, Dixon down on this right hand side, he can run. A powerful runner, likes to get forward. Has played in numerous positions during the season, including that of a sort of right-sided forward, as well as a wing-back and full-back.
Need to be careful here, Manchester United, from the corner. Just see Godwill Kokonki checking his shoulder there, because be a little bit worried about the positioning of Braden Graham, especially after the last corner that Manchester United faced. It is another long one towards the back post. It is hit towards goal by Braden Graham, who wasn't picked up again. Manchester United safely have it back in the arms of Eli Harrison.
You can see it was coming. Again, he's at the end of that edge of that 6-yard box.
Scanlon just doesn't see the defender as he tries to send that pass across to the right-hand side. Collected by Gomez. Morganai trying to get that back to Mantato. Again, It's another loose ball in midfield, and again it's collected by Manchester United. That has been a feature of the last 10 minutes or so. Morehouse sees some space, off on a mazy run, finds Scanlon. Scanlon just needs to find himself some room to get the pass away. Quickly closed down. It's going to allow Francis Gomez to run the ball away. Liverpool have equalised against Manchester City. One apiece there, top of the table. Manchester City against Liverpool, who finished in 16th position in the PL2 table. Just goes to show there's goals. Ethan Wheatley just stretching off that cramp, I think.
Well, he'll be hoping to finish his night with a hat-trick at least. I suppose, as will Martin Sheriff.
I think the referee has just told Ethan Wheatley that he needs to. He couldn't take the energy gel that was just thrown onto the field for him and made him chuck it back off the field again. I don't understand why that would be the case.
Told you.
We're going to add referees to the list of things that grinds Ben's gears. Window blinds on planes having to be up when you're landing. People stopping at the bottom of escalators.
Nobody will ever give me a satisfactory explanation, even if there is one, about why you have to open a blind to land a plane. And
might be it.
Why couldn't Ethan Wheatley have his gel?
One back by Fletcher. He's covered some ground tonight, Tyler Fletcher. Sekou Kone. Morehouse. All square in all three of the PL2 playoff games tonight. 1-1 at Arsenal, 1-1 between City and Liverpool, and 2-2 here. All three of those games currently heading for extra time and penalties. Pull of the shirt there, according to the assistant on that far side, so free kick is Everton's. Extra time and penalties is the difference, Ben, between me making it for last orders and not tonight. Into the penalty area, Sekou Kone flicks it back out to Fletcher. Fletcher, who thought that he'd done enough by getting it into the penalty area in the first place. Kokonki up against Sheriff. Sheriff has gone the long way around. He is helped out brilliantly by a retreating Sam Murray.
Yeah. He was a little bit helpless there. Kokonki. And once Sheriff got that frame as big as Kokonki is, he's bigger. So he was grateful to Sam Murray for getting back and helping him out.
That's how it should work in a football team. You should all be looking after each other.
I agree.
They are keeping a beady eye out for Braden Graham here, looking inside the penalty area. This one is not going long. It is going long towards the back post, but there's a sea of red shirts there. Scooped header from Godwill Kokonki. Across it comes, given away. Now Manchester United might be able to break. This is Bendito Mantato. Wheatley holding his run. Scanlon looking to get there too. Wheatley's going to try and get on the end of it, but he is already offside.
I actually think the pass was meant for James Scanlon, and it took a deflection into the path of Ethan Wheatley, who was in an offside position.
Hint of a foul in there as well. As the
Going
ball
off?
was played, yeah, I think he's probably on his... Oh, they're all coming over to the sidelines. Ethan Wheatley, as I say, has been away with Walsall, maybe hasn't had as much game time as he would have done otherwise, so maybe after scoring 2 goals, that's him done for the evening, but he's done a great job. We've got a Everton player down here in Jack Patterson, who's just having some treatment. Should allow everybody get things to sorted. Let's take a little look. Maybe we can try and figure out what happened to Jack Patterson. Oh yeah, it just slid into the challenge, and I think that was where I thought the hint of the foul was, actually. A little bit of a late one on Bendito Mantato, and he's ended up with Mantato falling on top of him, and that's what's caused the injury.
He's had a couple of robust challenges in this game. Some very good and very competitive, others just a little bit wayward.
Well, that's Jacob Devaney being readied for Manchester United. Now, that's not going to be for Ethan Wheatley. Has played in a number of positions, Jacob Devaney, in recent weeks. Actually played at right back last time out for the under-18s, which I wasn't anticipating as a central midfielder. We will find out shortly when this board gets raised.
Substitution for Manchester United, coming off number 7,
Bendito Mantato, who makes way.
Coming off number 14, Jacob Devaney.
Jacob Devaney. We will find out where Jacob Devaney is going to play once he starts playing there. Morehouse looks like he's going out wide on the left-hand side. That might well move James Scanlon into his right berth position. He can play either side, James Scanlon, but you can never really tell whether he prefers it off the left or off the right. So that's what's going on. It's Morehouse that goes into the wide left position. Scanlon goes into the wide right position. Jacob Devaney is going to sit with Sekou Kone in centre midfield.
Still a few people slipping. I know they did water the pitch before kick-off.
And at half-time.
Did they do it at half-time as well? There's definitely a little bit of footwear issues.
Greasy surfaces. We've seen that quite a lot in recent weeks, haven't we? All over the top for Fletcher to try and get on the end of. Devaney dispossessed. Chance here for Sharif in behind, and one-on-one with the goalkeeper. Going to get his shot away. Do wonder whether that left leg may well have tightened up as he ran through. Yeah, he's gone down and he's immediately pulling on those hamstrings. That was my first thought as he sprinted through into the penalty area, that he just seemed to stiffen as he took the shot, Ben.
Yeah, and when what I can only assume is cramp starts setting in, there's not a lot you can do about it, and he's still out there running. But there was no question that he was onside.
He even made kicking the post in frustration quite difficult for him. Another player that's run their legs off, Ethan Wheatley.
He'll be aware, won't he, Luca Davies, because he's already made a mug of him once. Dispossessing him and scoring his second goal.
20 minutes for Manchester United to try and find a winner here. Devaney. Set out to Organite.
It's one way of playing a 1-2. Head it back off your opponent.
Look if you can make it work.
Yeah.
Kone, lovely ball through. Brilliant chance. What a finish that is. What a ball through, and the finish from Tyler Fletcher is sensational. Manchester United lead 3-2.
Goal scorer.
It's a great pass, a great take, and a lovely finish from Tyler Fletcher. And albeit it wasn't a run, that's where he can find himself, in that sort of slightly more advanced position in between the two centre-backs. Lovely pass from Kone, great take. Really was a superb take from Tyler Fletcher, and only needed the one touch as well to set himself to fire it into the far corner. I didn't think the scoring was over at 2-2, I have to say, but United certainly have been more positive in this second half. Great goal.
That makes 3 goals and 2 assists in 7 appearances in PL2 this season for Tyler Fletcher. Not a bad return. He's played a lot of under-18s football this season, Tyler. Has stepped up with no Jack available and has done himself proud, really. Performed really well. Manchester United hit the front for the first time this evening. I think it's a little more reflective of how this second half has gone. United have definitely been the more dominant of the two.
Without doubt.
Murray to Wheatley. Kone tries to dance his way in between the 2 bodies that had ended up on the floor. Ethan Wheatley feels like he was tripped by Isaac Heath and lets the assistant know on this near side. Unmoved is how I would describe the assistant.
He's holding the back of his leg. I hope he's got cramp.
That wouldn't surprise me. As I say, a lot of running for Ethan Wheatley tonight. Back it comes to Luca Davis. Isaac Heath. Davis, try and get a switch in here. Yeah, needed dealing with by Oganai, especially with Samuel Smith lurking just behind him. Made absolutely certain of it.
I'm not so sure that would have just run out, that.
He didn't want to take that chance,
No,
did
he didn't. He didn't. Or maybe with his favoured foot, put it out for a throw-in. Anyway, you've got to defend a corner.
Been dangerous these tonight for Everton. Headed away well by Kokonki. Drilled back in, turned away. Everton now need to get this right because Manchester United have an awful lot of pace in that team. Decide that the safest option is to get it back to Barnsley. Eli Harrison collects. Oganai still full of running down the right hand side. Asking an awful lot from James Scanlon with that pass, I think.
Yeah. He didn't do him any favours, did he?
Eli Harrison to Sam Murray. "15 minutes for Manchester United to protect this lead." Best way to do that, I would guess, is to go and find yourself another one. Take the pressure off.
Yeah, and another goal now for Manchester United with, what, 15 minutes plus 23 for stoppages. Should do the trick.
I'm not sure we're going to quite have the same level of stoppages at the end of the second half that we had at the end of the first after the injury to the assistant referee. Gabe Biancheri looks like he's being readied for Manchester United over on that far side, and that is the end of Ethan Wheatley's evening. 2 goals for him, and he's warmly applauded from the field. High fives all round. Gabe Biancheri gives him a big high five. And a different type of centre forward for Manchester United. and a different challenge for Everton.
Yeah, he's had a good night, Ethan Wheatley. 2 goals. Exactly what a striker he's on there to do, and he was unlucky not to get his hat-trick.
I've got to say that all of Manchester United's goals tonight have been really well taken. First touch and finish from Wheatley is brilliant, then he pickpockets and slams it home, and Tyler Fletcher's finish is excellent too.
It's probably just about the pick of the bunch.
Yeah.
Purely and simply because of the way that he took it out of his feet with just the one touch to set himself.
Weight of the pass from Sekou Kone is important there as well.
Yeah.
If it's not put in with enough pace, you can't do that.
No.
You put it in with too much pace, you can't do that. And then the bit of skill to actually bring it down and out of your feet, as you say, Ben.
When you can manoeuvre the ball that quickly, even in an enclosed space, and get your shot off like he did, it's very, very difficult for defenders to be able to close you down.
Job is not done yet for Manchester United. And Everton certainly haven't given up on it.
Yeah.
Just a little bit late from Jacob Devaney.
He seems to be the one player in an Everton shirt, Roman Dixon, who is still capable of being able to carry the ball forward and make runs without it, and he's doing it at a fair old pace as well at this stage of the game.
Substitution for Everton, coming off from 11, Odin Samuel-Smith.
Odin Samuel-Smith leaves the fields, the Manchester-born
And coming on, number 16,
winger.
George Morgan.
George Morgan comes on to replace him. Everton just trying to find a way to get themselves back into it. Headed clear. Brought down by Heath. Lovely touch to get away from the initial challenge. Doesn't get away from the second one. Manchester United looking to break here. Morehouse is on the charge. He's got Biancheri to his right. He's got Scanlon to his left. Goes out to the right-hand side. Cross comes in. Chance for Morehouse, lifted towards the back post, but James Scanlon can't get there.
He went the wrong way. He chose the wrong option. The ball was to his left, where James Scanlon had made a run, and he was unchallenged.
Kone bypasses the challenge of Patterson. United haven't stopped yet. Nobody to aim at in the penalty area though. Biancheri is out wide on the left-hand side. Kone. Referee plays advantage. Kone into Devaney. Thunders into a challenge on Martin Sharif. Everton still coming here with Braden Graham. Could be a chance from the edge of the penalty area. It's an absolute rocket of an effort from Gomez. It's just wide.
Definitely had him scrambling, didn't it? Eli Harrison. He always wants us to come inside. You can tell by his body shape, Braden Graham, that he didn't really feel confident going on the outside towards the touchline. But when that broke, he took the opportunity, Francis Gomez, to hit that first time, and it only just whistled wide.
Biancheri. Just a little bit on the unurgent side from Sam Murray. And it allows Dixon in. It's a good block that goes in from Louis Jackson.
I mean, I said before, he is full of running, Dixon. I just felt as though he chose, the ball's got to go to, he's there, he's on his own. The hat-trick man, well, looking for, he's just going to roll that ball inside, and he's got a, he probably will score his hat-trick.
Can only assume that the referee played the advantage there as well, because there is a little pull of the shirt from Louis Jackson on the edge of the penalty area. It's another deep corner, headed back towards goal. It's the stanchion holding the net. Wasn't a million miles away.
Yeah.
He's been dangerous, Braden Graham, coming in from the back post at those corners. United just struggled to deal with that on a couple of occasions.
Yeah, they have.
Kokonki puts Eli Harrison into a bit of a situation. Eli Harrison gets himself out of it. Dixon waiting for some target men to appear inside the penalty area. Now, surely he hasn't got to throw that long on him.
We're soon going to find out.
That is 50 yards from the penalty spot. Yeah, it doesn't make it to the edge of the 18-yard box. I was going to say, you're asking a lot.
We had all that build-up.
Yeah.
It was definitely an anti-climax.
Rory Delap would have been struggling to make it into the middle of the penalty area from there.
Oh.
Yeah, that's definitely a foul, and the referee gives this one. Patterson probably going in the book here too, and that'll be a totting up, really, of slightly wayward challenges.
Yeah, I said that about him earlier on. I mean, there was no desire to play the ball there. That was just a very, very tired-looking challenge. But
it's a yellow card offence on its own, to be
fair. It is,
fair.
yes, without the totting up. No doubt about it, he's a committed player, Jack Patterson, but some of his challenges in this game have left a lot to be desired.
Blimey, Charlie, Eli Harrison, confident in his ability to pick out Godwill Kokonki there.
I'd still rather him not do that with 6 minutes to go.
Yeah. Look, he was supremely confident, and can't take that away from him. Ball is loose on the edge of the penalty area. Kone's going to have a go. Oh, what an effort! Sekou Kone bends one home. It's unbelievable from the Manchester United number 6. Game is done and dusted. Manchester United through to the quarter-finals. United 4, Everton 2.
Did that take a deflection? Because I was just looking at the goalkeeper, and
Nope.
he's just completely rooted. I mean, it's a hell of a strike. Are you sure that didn't deflect off somebody's back? Because he
I don't know, Ben.
No, anyway. I mean, regardless of the fact that we mentioned earlier when he went through and blasted one over the bar, that he can strike a ball, and you've seen it numerous occasions this season. Well, there's another example of it, and that has given Manchester United the victory. Now, I don't think there's any question that a 2-goal deficit at this stage of the proceedings is going to be enough for them to progress.
Well, I'd hope so, otherwise the commentary highlights with me saying that Manchester United are through to the quarter-finals is going to sound ridiculous, isn't it? Oh, here's an opportunity at the other end of the field just to get my heart rate going a little bit. Or maybe I've gone too early now I've said that.
Well, you could probably be forgiven wherever you were doing any sort of commentary from at the Lyon game last Thursday.
Well, it was this scoreline when I said that Manchester United weren't coming back from a 2-goal deficit.
No.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I was in agreement with you at the time as well.
I have never been more happy to be wrong.
What unfolded before our eyes in those final 15 minutes was just quite spectacular.
the... Oh, that's absolutely brilliant from James Scanlon. Lovely turn, edge of the penalty area. Unselfishly to Morehouse, looks to pull it back. And it deflects wide for a corner. And James Scanlon was trying to help out Jack Morehouse. And unfortunately, the move comes to an end. That's a lovely nutmeg on the edge of the penalty area.
Yeah. This is now, I have to say, bar Roman Dixon, this is a very tired Everton side that have been put to the sword by Manchester United in this second half.
Fourth goal has just knocked the wind out of their sails. Manchester United look to be heading through. So, who will Manchester United play? Well, we will find that out in the coming days, because they're going to play the winner of West Ham against Sunderland. That game needs to be played before the 28th of April. Sekou Kone looks to have another effort from the edge of the penalty area. That one doesn't quite go as well as the last one.
Substitution for Everton, coming off number 6, Jack Patterson.
Patterson is going to make
Coming
way here.
on number 14, Callum Bates.
And Callum Bates replaces him. Ticks off a couple more seconds on the game clock. This will be the end of Everton's under-21 season. They won't progress to the quarterfinals. Those quarterfinals are slated to take place between the 2nd and the 5th of May. So once this gets boxed off and sorted, we will find out exactly when the game will be, once West Ham have taken on Sunderland in match number 4.
Have you no date for that? I know it's got to be played between, but there's not. I'm surprised they haven't set a date. If it's
My favourite
it's
thing,
got to be played within the next 2 days.
my favourite thing in the world is when you ask me questions that I don't have the answers to, and it makes me look like a moron.
No, not at all. I just thought that if he's got to be played by the 28th, you thought they might have set a date for it by now.
Really, they probably have. I just don't have the date.
Yeah. Right, okay.
I was trying to fluff my way around it without
That's
anybody
okay.
pointing out that I didn't have the date. And all you've managed to do now is point out
dig
that
you
I
right
don't
out.
have the date.
Sorry.
Do you have the date, as my co-commentator
Well,
that should also have done
I'm
the prep?
guessing it'll be tomorrow, Sunday or Monday.
Arsenal lead Newcastle under-21s by 2-1. They're into extra time between Manchester City and Liverpool.
I mean, Martin Sheriff has been like a walking wounded from about the hour mark. Fair play to him.
He's just kept going, hasn't he? Long throw this time from Dixon, makes it into the penalty area. Devaney's going to allow that to run out of play, and that will be a corner, according to the assistant on that near side.
Well, they got another. I think you'd be a little bit more nervous, wouldn't you, if the scoreline was still 3-2, because they haven't dealt with these in-swinging left-footed corners from Alan Thomas all night.
It's headed down, and wide will be a goal kick.
Yeah.
Tomorrow at midday.
And hey presto.
Forced me into it. Found you the answer.
There you go.
You can't take credit because you didn't know either.
No, I didn't.
Sorted. And then we have to wait until the date is sorted between whoever wins that one and Manchester United to figure out when that's going to be.
So if West Ham win, do they get to choose when the game is?
Well,
And
no, it
if
just
Sunderland win, we get to
just-
choose?
No, I think it just gets organised between the two clubs.
Right.
5 minutes added on time at the end of the game. That's a minimum of 5 minutes added on time at the end of the game.
5 minutes added on. Morehouse on the move. Played against Biancheri. Bates to Thomas. Sam Murray waiting to take the throw. Headed clearance. Morehouse into the path of Biancheri. Biancheri rides the challenge really well. She's going to have another bite of that cherry. I think there's a foul in there on the way down that left-hand side. The referee hasn't spotted it, and once he doesn't spot it, then Reece Welsh is always the favourite to get there first.
I didn't.
Fair enough.
I didn't think. I just thought it was decent defending.
Ball is loose. Everton in the penalty area with 3 minutes to play. United need to get this away. It's come through to Braden Graham, who tries to get a left-footed shot on goal. Lifts it wide.
Yeah, just needed to get rid of it. First of all, Kokonki doesn't get much on it, and then Coney gets caught. And watch here as George Morgan pulls that ball. Kokonki's got to get rid of it better, and Coney's got to be aware. And there was the reason why Braden Graham didn't want to take that ball onto his left foot on the touchline earlier.
Absolutely right.
Well, you just don't want... I know it's 4-2 and the game should be won, but you just don't want any nerves creeping into the last couple of minutes should you concede in injury time.
Flicked on. Out of play. Manchester United throw in. This should allow United to take another minute off the clock. Good news for this group. They look like they have made their way through to the quarterfinals of this competition. Be another game for them to play. Chance to fight it out at the top of that league table. Biancheri protects the ball really well. Finds Ogunai. Scanlon gets to the byline. And he manages to poke it off his man as well, wins a corner. It's brilliant from James Scanlon.
Yeah, they've been very good in the second half, Manchester United, I have to say. And I know that they will have played better in other games this season. But they really needed to step up in the second half, and they've done that. And scored some really good goals.
Well, we thought that the third was the pick of the bunch for Manchester United, but if Sekou Kone's effort hasn't taken a deflection, and it's not clear whether it did or whether it didn't, he's going to have another shy from the edge of the penalty area here. You did wonder for a second whether it was going to be another Sekou Kone special.
It was the goalkeeper that gave it away. He looked like it's one of them that he says, oh no, I'm not getting that, because it's taken a deflection, but we haven't seen it from an angle that will justify that.
Martin Sheriff is still sprinting his legs off at the other end of the field. Unbelievable stuff from the Everton number 9. Got himself a couple of goals tonight. He'll feel pretty pleased with what he's done. That's a good flick on from him too, to try and find Graham, who's just pulled up there. Referee's going to bring the game to a close, and Manchester United are going to progress to the quarter-finals of the playoffs of Premier League 2 with a 4-2 win over Everton. Martin Sharif opening the scoring, Manchester United equalising through Ethan Wheatley. It was Sheriff again to make it 2-1 Everton, and Wheatley again to make it 2 apiece. In the second half though, all Manchester United. Tyler Fletcher taking a brilliant finish after a pass from that man on your screen, Sekou Kone, before Kone applied the cherry to the icing on top of the cake with a beautiful finish from 23 yards out, bent past the goalkeeper. Manchester United were made to work for it by Everton, but they have won this game. They are through to the next round. They've beaten Everton by 4 goals to 2.